everybody. Butt slap going on. Slap that butt. Ooh, baby. Woo. Alrighty, welcome everybody. It's Houston with a Problem. We are live on a Thursday yet again. I think it's our third Thursday in a row. Sorry, the recent weeks, Wednesdays have been busy. So I haven't been able to do shows. So we may have some more Thursday shows in our future. So just be warned. Probably through at least 4th of July-ish. Right off the bat, Mark Basile lost his petition to get the blue sheets from FINRA. He said he's appealing. I didn't get to actually listen to the hearing, but I got some blow-by-blows from people. It sounded like the judge really didn't know securities law at all. And it also sounded like the FINRA attorney, as a real estate lawyer, isn't necessarily a securities lawyer either. But he's appealing, so he's going to be going before a panel. But that might take some time to get that hearing done. So I guess we wait again. Today is the date that Rosa's due to submit her amended filing, I believe. So we'll look see if that pops up on the docket. And Ryan Cohen, they had a shareholders meeting. Ryan Cohen spent the first couple of minutes basically telling everyone that a CEO should be invested in their company and not just be, sitting back, relaxing, investing. And he's putting his money where his mouth is. About another 400,000 shares today. And then the other big news is that 6th Street is looking at making a bid for Bed Bath & Beyond. And all signs point to 6th Street managing the debt of the collateralized debt of Bed Bath & Beyond for its actual owner, Carl Icahn. So, should get interesting. This would allow Icahn essentially to say, hey, I'm going to bid the $1.4 billion or whatever and write off his own debt, get a tax break on it, and get the company essentially for free. Because they get a huge tax break. It'd be interesting to see what that would entail. Hi, cat. You gonna bite my leg? Yeah? So we're gonna sit back, relax, wait out some more, right? Wait, that didn't happen. Try that again. Come on. Yeah, we'll sit right there. Cattail karaoke. Oh, karaoke. Right, buddy? Yeah, you little dude. All right. Get the troop of Batman here. He's the scratchiest little fat boy in the world. Okay. Oh, shit. I almost... turn off the intro. Oh, cat almost got me. Yeah, it was close. That was close. Okay. Michael Mystery, I'm wearing one of your shirts. This is a Michael Mystery shirt from the gigantic birthday haul he sent me. My roommates and I have almost gotten through all the candy that he sent. And reminding everybody to become part of the Green Ohana. Yes, part of the Green family. Become a member of Houston with a Problem today, and help Houston buy a Chupa Batman his asthma medicine. That's what it comes down to. Phil Clayton, Houston, evening. Regarding Madoff, wasn't it the FBI who finally brought him to justice? Shouldn't they have been made aware of the current crime rather than these self-regulating douchebags? Yeah. I mean, FBI should definitely be doing a lot more. FBI should be all over Sabby right now. There's evidence that Sabby has $220 million offshore. Their fine from the SEC is for $2 million. No, they should have the FBI in there arresting their asses, throwing them all in prison, and then paying back everyone they defrauded through their naked short selling scheme. Should not just be a $2 million investment or a fine. That's just the cost of doing business at that point. I honestly think that the SEC needs law enforcement power. They need to be able to put these dudes in prison and not to rely upon, begging the FBI financial crimes folks to come in and do something. It should be specifically the SEC getting them arrested, charging them with crimes, and not just, those little wrist slaps crimes. I think if you're gonna do fines, the fine should be greater than the benefit. You do $1 billion in crime, you should have to pay at least $1 billion plus one on that. At least. It should be punitive. It should be not worth your while if that's what you're going to do. Oh, you're gonna take the comfy seat? All right. Oh, got a little cat butt. So scratchy. Okay. Citizen 54, Houston. Is there a chance Trump will flee? Staying means he's risking prison. Fleeing means he's never able to return, but can spew lies from abroad. One last grift, or ego too big? Will he flee? That's a good question, because they didn't remand his passport. Oh, come back for some cat dog. Okay. They didn't remand his passport. They didn't arrest him. They didn't put him in jail or post a bond, which I find really interesting. That they should at least make him pony up some dough to be free and run around and campaigning and stuff. But will he flee? If he flees, where do you think he'll go? Russia or Saudi Arabia? I think it'll be one of those two places. Which one would it be? I think Trump would rather go to Saudi Arabia than Russia. So because 9 months a year, Russia is like Hoth. Man, granted, 6 months a year, Saudi Arabia is absolutely melting, but Trump seems to like the heat and does fine air-conditioned buildings. So I put money towards Saudi Arabia. Dog mom medicine. Kitty medicine. Look at that. Thank you, dog mom. Oh, dude, you're such a little fatty. Okay, here. Where'd your thing go? Your avocado. It's on your head. Okay. Mike C. Man, still holding 350 shares of MMTLP, hoping to get money back, or at least receive the damn NextBridge shares we were promised. Apparently, all the foreign holders of NextBridge just got pushed into a new weird QSIP. It's like their 5th one. Why do they need to keep reassigning QSIP numbers? And why do they all have to be different? Why are some brokers the same, other brokers completely different, and then all the foreign holders get something completely weird? That doesn't make any sense to me. Citizen 54, according to Lawrence Lepard of Equity Management Associates, Citadel was going bankrupt in March 2020 during the COVID crash. Instead, it was given a swap line from the Fed. Thoughts? Personally, I mean, I don't see their books. I don't know exactly how they operate. But everything about Citadel tells me it's always going bankrupt. But they've got enough cash flowing through them at all times that they can make it look like they're doing all right. But they're still under a restricted withdrawal for their hedge fund members. They can only pull out a few percent a quarter. They're claiming that they made huge profits last year, and no one could figure out how or why. There wasn't enough volatility in the market for them to really do that. And they spent all of 2021 desperately trying not to die. They've had to issue huge bonds to stay afloat. That's not something a company like that that's making huge profits does. I don't know. Everything about Citadel seems sketchy. Ed, will AMC Ape move before or after the reverse split? I don't know. Intera sold something like 3.8 million Ape shares yesterday, and then bought a bunch of AMC puts. So they're definitely bearish on the stock after making 3x on that chunk of their investment. I don't trust them. I don't know if, when, how, why AMC would move. I don't know if they'll be allowed to do the reverse split. Everything in the court case points to shenanigans between the board and Antera. And I think the judge, regardless of if a settlement can be agreed to, I think the judge is like, this stuff is sketchy and we're going to make you change it. And I don't know how they're going to change it. But Antera liquidating some of their apes may help alleviate that and allow a reverse split to happen. But the crime or the unethical behavior was originally giving them too many shares at a steep discount too. It's Liddy. Hey Houston, can you update on BBBY if you haven't already, please? Update. The stalking horse came in. It was overstock.com with a teeny tiny puny little bid. A couple others have come forward as possible bidders. And then today the news coming out is that 6th Street, who holds the majority of the collateralized debt from Bed Bath & Beyond, and they control it, it appears, for Carl Icahn. So, seriously, there's a way for him, if this debt is his, to basically say, hey, I'll buy this company X billions of dollars. Basically saying, I'm going to write off my own debt, get a huge tax break on it, and then obtain all of the assets of Bed Bath & Beyond for free or mere pennies. And that's the corporate raider wizard that he and his family are. So let's see what happens. And it's also a way to keep the shares without having to turn the company private and the shares disappear, is that they can say something like, hey, we'll take on all this debt for 50% plus one and write it off, and we will control the company, and the shares will still exist. They'll still be worth something. It's an interesting move. We'll see how it goes. Andrew Stewart, Houston, got any good bench clearing brawl stories? I was only involved in one brawl. Well, my freshman year playing soccer, I was involved in a brawl against South Kitsap, and then at Lewis and Clark, we got in a brawl with Menlo College. I think I told the Menlo College one before. I'll tell the soccer one. How about that? So on you get soccer team, it's like a U16 team, I believe we were on. I was maybe 14 at the time. I was a defender. So South Kitsap came, their select team came to our field. Only 8 of them showed up. And there's like, the 11 of us on the field plus like 3 or 4 on the bench, and only 8 of them showed up. And the ref was like, well, I guess you're playing 8 versus 11. And the South Kitsap team was really pissed. And they started just doing dirty stuff. And I remember they slide tackled one of our players, and as he slide tackled him, the kid just full on cranked him right in the nuts. Hit our player on the balls, and he's like doubled over and like coughing and screaming, and it was very dirty. And then the ref pulled a red card on him, so it's gonna be 7 versus 11. and that's when this one kid like punched the ref, and then just all hell broke loose. Thing is that if there's only 8 of you, and there's like 14 of the other team, plus all of their parents, plus the ref, who now is definitely against South Kitsap on this one, you're not going to win the brawl. And they lost pretty quickly. The brawl I got in at Lewis and Clark, and I think I told this one before. So Menlo College came to Lewis and Clark, and they were huge. They were monsters. They were nationally ranked NAIA team. If you guys know anything about NAIA, it is like NCAA without the rules. So these players, they could be ex-prisoners. They could be, these dudes look like they were 30 years old. And the entire team was like 6'5" and taller and just huge. They had players that had like 30 home runs in 20 games, and they were nationally ranked. They were a serious team, and they were kicking the shit out of us, no doubt. But when you, like, if we were to go play them on their field, we'd be under NAIA rules, and because they came to our field, they're under NCAA rules. And NCAA rules outlaw tobacco. Can't smoke, can't chew, can't do that stuff. And one of our players was leading off first base, and their first baseman had a big old thing of tobacco in his mouth, and he spit it on the back of the legs of our player, which got them a warning and all this yelling and stuff like that. And then when that player was back up to bat, tobacco stained down his leg, their pitcher threw at his head twice and then beamed him in the ribs. And I was just like, what the hell's going on? They're already winning. Like, what the heck? And then, if I remember correctly, our pitcher the next time up, like, hit one of their guys, and then it was just on. It was bench clearing, punches. We lost that. They were huge. Even though we had the hometown team on our side, they were so much, like, on our Lewis and Clark team, I was the biggest guy on our team, and I was smaller than their smallest guy. So, like, we got whooped on pretty good. But we won the game because the umps threw them out, and so they forfeited. They forfeited that. I think that was game 2 of our 3 games, and so that would have been the doubleheader on Saturday. So they beat us the first game. They were crushing us second game, but they got thrown out, and then they basically forfeited the game on Sunday. So we ended up taking 2 of 3 from Menlo Park for getting our ass kicked. I meant Menlo College. But yeah, those are my brawls. There's been like yibber yabbers, but like no one's ever, like, whenever I beaned somebody, it was always with a knuckleball, and they just kind of laughed it off. Even when I hit the kid in the head with a knuckleball, I was at, was it Cascadia? No. What was that college in Oregon? The Christian one. What was that college? It's in Northeast Portland. What is your name? Okay, Concordia? No, Concordia is California. McMinimans, University Park. St. John's. What is that? What is the name of that college? You're crying out loud. I can't remember the name of it. Shit. Okay. Multnomah, George Fox, Linfield, American, Clark, Pacific, Clackamas, Sumner, Mount Hood. No. None of those are the college. Why aren't you listed? What the hell's the name of that school? Not Cascadia, not Concordia. It's a Christian school. I'm going to put Christian College. Not Columbia. Did they close or something? They have other branches elsewhere. I remember that, but I can't remember her name. It's along the lines of like Concordia. Cascade College? Oh, it's Cascade College. Okay. Private 4-year liberal arts college. Was a private 4-year liberal arts college. Oh, they closed. That's why I couldn't find them. It was Cascade. Okay, it was Cascade College. Okay. Yeah. So they were Division 2, I believe. Cascade Thunderbirds were NAIA. Okay. And then Division 2. Yeah, this is them. Because it must have been Cascade College. Yeah, we were getting slapped around by them. Lewis and Clark was not a very good school for baseball. They tried. And the coach was like, wait, get warming up. And I was like, the wind's blowing 35 miles an hour, coach. You don't want knuckleball in there. He's like, shut the fuck up, go, get warmed up. And so I'm warming up, and the wind is blowing the ball all over the place. The bullpen catcher cannot hit. It's just no one knows where it's going. And finally, they put me in, and I walk a dude in like 4 pitches. Next guy, bean in the head. And seriously, it's like a 55 mile an hour pitch. The ball's just coming at him, and just whoop, hits him right in the head. And everyone, the myself, the catcher, almost like, whoa. And he's like, don't sweat it, dude. He's gonna bounce off his helmet. And then, if I remember correctly, I think Dave Barry was playing center field. And the next one I gave up was just a giant, it looked like it was going to be a home run. And Dave Barry caught the ball, doubled the dude off at first with just an amazing rope for catch. And then what happened to us after that was I gave up another huge hit. Oh my goodness. And we had this Korean kid, Sun Chang? What's his name? Sun Chang, I think it was. And he slid to get the ball. He got it on a bounce, and he slid, and his leg went, it's like really muddy out there, and his leg went under the fence, and he got stuck from a slide and couldn't get out. And so they gave the other guy a ground rule double because he got stuck. I remember that was hilarious. Like, it took like 3 people to get his leg out because like the chain link fence was dug in like a barb. Crappy fields you play on. Nothing was worse than George Fox's field. George Fox was absolute. Just, it was a lake. There was like lily pads and stuff out there. And they won a national championship on that field in 2003. Now they got a sweet field. I saw a video the other day of some MLB players doing preseason workouts, and their field looks dynamite. But man, all the fields of Pacific Northwest, if they weren't AstroTurf, they were just bogs. Because most of the season is February, March, April, and it doesn't stop raining. Just like in Portland, we'll get freezing rain too. So like one night we had freezing rain. I'd gone to the local pub about a mile from campus was a pub. We just kind of walk there and go to the pub and play darts and pool and hang out, whatever. And there was an ice storm that happened while we were inside the pub. Like, we didn't know. We were inside for a couple hours having fun. Come outside and there's just like 2 inches of just crystal clear ice on everything. There's trees exploding and power lines blowing up and whatever. Transformers blowing up. And it's the teeniest, tiniest little like 15-foot hill to get up. And then it's flat all the way to college, and we couldn't get up the hill. We had to like go into the bushes, which is terrifying because the trees are exploding, and like climb this English ivy that was all frozen to get to the top of the hill so we could walk back to campus. And the next day, there's still ice on everything, and we were supposed to go out practice, and we spent the entire practice clearing, I don't know how many pounds. I never actually did the math on it, but imagine like 2 inches of ice covering entire infield tarp, and it's got to be like 50,000 pounds of ice. It was just bonkers. Like normally just kind of roll up a tarp or whatever, but not when it was impossible. We spent the entire practice clearing the field, and then once we got the field cleared, it was dark outside, and we had to put the tarp back on it. So I'm just digressing. Anyway, yeah. I only gotten one true brawl. Never got charged in the mound. I never beamed anybody like with a fastball. Never like I'm gonna hit you and I'm gonna mean it. I brush people off, but I never really intentionally hit anybody. I don't know. I just think like getting intentionally hit by a knuckleballer just would invite me getting my face punched way more than anyone else should. Like, this soft tosser's up here and now he's throwing at my ribs at 92. What the hell? Javier, SPX, and SPY had a massive pump today. How much money was invested today for this melt-up? I think the pump is being made for retail ETFs to hold the bag. Definitely. But the thing is that it's been pumping for 2 years. For 2 years, we've known that this is a giant, like, balloon. And they're still filling it full of air. So when is the rug pull? That's what I want to know. And she's asking anyone ever charged a amount on you? No, no one's ever charged a amount on me. Crossbones, what happened to the blue sheets? De nada. Nothing. Looks like the New York court said, no, they don't have to. They don't have to show the blue sheets. Sigh. BOFH, dose not. Yeah, I caught that. In the title ahead. Blue sheet battle, dose not. I fixed it. Your friend is here. Why is GME and AMC going down on no news? Because, well, AMC's going down because Antera sold 3.8 million ape and bought a bunch of puts. So they got to make sure their puts go in the money. Nothing on Sears as far as I know. GME's going down because they had their meeting today, and that makes them push. That makes the shorts go out short. So that's what they do. Jack Clifford, Houston, happy birthday. Happy birthday next Wednesday. Well, next Wednesday isn't my birthday, but you know, every day is my birthday apparently. All your thoughts on GME, the direction of the company, 10-year price target, Ryan Cohen being more involved, etc. All of it. Spill your GME guts, man. I think the goal of GME is to be the parent company of a much larger organization. And Ryan Cohen is using it as a launching pad in order to be this G-America corporate brand that has its little fingers in multiple retail spaces across the markets. How quickly it does that is up for debate, but if they're able to grab an entity like Bed Bath & Beyond and or Bye Bye Baby, then they're definitely broadening their exposure. Like they're going to be in more markets, selling more products and diversifying. And people will constantly have kids. People will constantly buy new things for kids because kids destroy stuff and they're snotty and gross. People make baby registries to get toys and strollers and car seats and etc. That business is not going to end. So I think it's a good investment if they do get it. And from there, where they go, who knows? They're entering the downloadable game space like Steam and Activision and Blizzard and all those guys have. So you're going to be able to get games through them and sell your games on there. And I think that's going to be a big market because if they're not coming into your store to buy the physical discs, they're going to be buying them online. So you may as well be in both markets. So I think they're good. 10-year price target. Man, my 2-year price target is way off. I would have figured we'd have MOASed by now. So 10-year price target, a MOAS in there somewhere. And I think at 300 million shares, the price should be $500 to $1,000 with the amount of demand that there is. The valuation of the company should be in the 35 billion range. That's where it should be. And so that would be $100 a share at least right now, 150 a share, somewhere around there. So Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Houston. What's your thought on Canada's housing bubble? It's much bigger than '08 and people getting outbid still. Why? From what I read is that people are taking out, what do they call them? No principal loans. So basically, you take out a loan. You don't pay off the principal during the duration of the loan. Might be a 3-year loan, but they'll give you a stupid interest rate, like 12%. Right? So say you take out a loan for $1 million house. You're paying 12% interest. You're paying $120,000 a year on that loan, and you're not paying off the principal. Just interest. All right, so you're paying $120,000 a year, and at the end of 3 years, you owe the principal. So what folks are hoping to do is that they take out this principal-only loan or interest-only loan, and they're they're hoping that within 3 years, interest rates drop and then they can refinance and get a much lower interest rate and then pay off the principal that way. So they're gambling that everything's going to be fine in 2 years, and they'll be able to, interest rates will be down, and they'll be able to refinance, which is, quite the risk. Just a smidge of risk in there, and that at the end of 3 years, when you owe $1 million cash right off the bat, after paying $360,000 in interest, and $1 million of cash and to them in 3 years, that you're gonna be able to do it. I don't think you will. I think if interest rates don't drop significantly, you're not gonna be able to refinance for anything where your monthly mortgage payments can be below the $10,000 you're already paying, or $12,000 you're paying, whatever it might be. And I think that's why people are buying homes. That these people are hoping to flip them maybe in 3 years. But the housing prices will be down. You'll be underwater on the house. The house won't be worth $1 million in 3 years when you owe it. And so, I don't know. A lot of people will probably be walking away. It's going to be bad. Hi, Monkey Butt. Why does it rain? It rains because the sun comes out. It warms the air. Warm air rises, where it then cools, condenses into clouds, and rains on everybody. It's because God isn't happy with us. Can they read? Do you think the market will crash this year? I'm thinking fall or sometime next year. Just need good feeling. MOAS is coming. I mean, market crashes generally don't induce good feelings, but if they benefit us this time around, then you know what? It may as well. That's where the "just don't dance" quote comes from. Where's that? Where's the monkey butt? Monkey butt took off. Monkey butt's like, I'm out of here. Lost Waves. How do you put a baby astronaut to sleep? You rock it. Oh, God damn it. Jason Blackwell's even here to appreciate that one. Lots of ways to have lunch with Jason Blackwell. You see, there you go. New Zealand has entered a recession. Europe has entered recession last week. So China had an emergency meeting today with economic people about how to get growth going, because I think China's probably in a recession, but they juke the stats in their report. Everything's fine, but everything's not fine. Their real estate market has completely collapsed, and the collapsed real estate market in a country where real estate is 1/3 of your entire economy means you're not having a positive. Oh, there you are, buddy. Yeah, and I noticed you flipped your thing. Get that right for you, dude. Get that right. Get up there. Come on, get up there. There you go. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, China. That China. It's hard to have positive growth in your economy when your entire real estate market has collapsed and your banks keep stealing everyone's money. They don't have anything like the FDIC, so when a bank closes, well, it closes. Your money's gone. Shouldn't have put it in our bank, sucker. And so you'll see stuff over the year of giant protests out in front of a bank, and then nothing comes of it because your money's gone. The banker's fine. He's a party member. He's definitely fine. Okay. I lost my spot. BTW brand. Everyone and their mother knew what Madoff was doing, just not how exactly. Again, you need proof and numbers, not just obvious signs. He was turned in by his kids when they found out. Yeah. And also, I mean, I don't know if you saw the documentary, the docuseries that they had on Netflix. What they show was, the FTC, the SEC, all these groups knew something was up, and they would go and they would never dive deep. They would just take his word for it. It's like, oh no, everything's fine. They'd be like, okay. And then they would leave. And it was phenomenal how easy that was for him to be like, oh, no, we're not committing crimes. And they're like, oh, okay. Even though, like, there's this guy, I can't remember the name of the firm, the analyst, the other firm, the quant, the other firm, who's doing the math and showing that this is impossible. The market does not behave this way. There's no way to make this many good bets in a row. This cannot happen. And they just didn't listen to him for like a decade. Joseph Stewart, good afternoon, Houston. Finally bit the bullet, signed up for YouTube Premium. Now when I watch your shows after the fact, I don't get true classic shirt commercials every 2 minutes. I have no control over what ads they do. The thing that pisses me off about YouTube is that I have this thing, I set like, 5 commercial breaks. And then someone will be like, hey, why are there so many ads? And I'll go look, and there'll be an ad every 2 minutes. And I got to go and delete all the ads. Because who wants to watch that? I wouldn't want to watch that. But, watch a 2-hour show. You go through, get an ad every 25 minutes. Okay, that happens. That's how we pay the bills around here. But, man, they really, really, really want to, like, stick so many ads in there. It's annoying as heck. Kelly Reed, why is UVXY up when the market went up? Fundamentals don't make sense in this market anymore. Hope reality kicks in soon. UVXY is supposed to be doing the reverse split soon. Did they do it yet? What did UVXY do today? Okay, where are we? UVXY is up. We went up quite a bit. That's weird. Weird. Huh. Yeah, went up 8% today. Sorry, no, 3.69%, 8 cents, 3.69% today. I don't know. Nothing ever makes any sense more. Michael Hitt is now a problem solver. Thank you, Michael. We got a couple of Michaels now as members who are green. Welcome to the green team. Philip Clayton, Houston. Can we refer to Kenneth Griffin as Kenron Griffoff? Hybrid. Kenron Griffoff. It's a hybrid of all the major Wall Street scandals. I like it. Kenron Griffoff. It is. Just from Dax, why was Mariano Rivera's cut fastball so dominant? Greatest pitch type ever thrown? I honestly don't understand. I mean, I'm sure he could strike my ass out, no problem, because I'm a crappy hitter. But he threw one pitch, it's a cut fastball. And when you're throwing a cut fastball, it's usually something that runs. So you might, split fingers will often get you a tailing fastball. But throwing a two-seamer will tail. And when Mariano Rivera would throw his fastball, it would run towards the hitter and then the last second dive in towards the center of the plate. And it would go to the same spot every pitch, every single time. So I always wondered, like, you could probably close your eyes and just swing where the ball will end up rather than trying to watch the ball and hit the ball as it comes in. Make it like when Felix Fernandez hit the eyes shut home run off of Carlos Santana, the grand slam. I just don't know why no one tried that. Like, every single time the ball's gonna go to the same spot. Shall we bring up our little hitter? Paint. Oh, gotta turn off the Google Earth. Bam. Where's paint? Paint, come back. There. Oh, there we go. Okay, Untitled Paint. Gotta make you the. Wait, well, maybe this one? Nope. Okay, Untitled Paint. There we go. Okay, so got our batter's box, or our strike zone. We got our dude. We gotta make our dude head, dude body, dude legs, short legs this time. Dude holding bat, and our bat. Okay, so Mariano Rivera would throw the ball, and then the ball would swoop in towards the hitter and then dive back through and land right there every single time. So it'd tail. And that was his... Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm apparently on the wrong paint. Ah! There it is. Okay, there we go. So it would literally, like, every single time, dive in, strike. So if you swung at it, you're swinging at a ball that was supposed to be here. And so you'd swing and your bat would dive through this area and you'd miss it and it would go above your bat. Or you'd sit there on your shoulders thinking it's going to be a ball and it would dip right into strike zone. He threw that pitch every single solitary time. It went to the exact same spot every time. And he was one of the most successful closers in history with one pitch. And it makes no sense. To this day, I don't understand, like, why did no one say, don't swing at where you think the ball is going to be, swing at where the ball goes every single time. Just put your bat right through that part of the plate, just whack, and time it. I don't know, maybe the human brain just can't comprehend doing that or something. But yeah, Rivera was one of the most successful closers of all time with just one pitch, and it's weird. It's very weird. And I can't explain it. It worked for him. He's a Hall of Famer and won a whole bunch of World Series, all because that one pitch again and again and again and again. Consistency, man. It seems to be like it's so predictable, but I don't know. Whatevs. That's where we are. Grape Knowles, Grape Nuts. Is there a particular philosophy that you live by, like existentialism, phenomenology, what and why? I appreciate Taoism, like going with the flow. I would say if I were to ascribe to a philosophy, it would probably be more of a Taoist type philosophy. I think the Tao Te Ching is just a brilliant, short, straight to the point work. Kind of follows that Confucius line. But I don't think it would entirely be just that philosophy. There's a lot of things that you can roll with stuff. But sometimes you have to like go out and get something done. I don't know if there's an exact name for what my philosophical outlook would be. There's a few quotes that always come to mind. There's like, a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. Like one of my biggest beefs with Elon Musk is that Elon Musk has to touch the stove constantly to find out that it's hot. He can't be like, oh, that person burned themselves in the stove, therefore I don't need to do it. He always wants to like reinvent the wheel. It's like, dude, the wheel's already invented. Just start from there and go. You don't have to like throw everything in the garbage and start all over again. That's not how you advance society in an efficient manner. You have to learn from others' mistakes so you don't make those mistakes again, but he'll make those mistakes again and again and again and again. A case in point, the launch pad in Texas for the Starship launch. Like, we've got 70 years of evidence showing that you need a water deluge and a flame trench, and he was like, nah, that involves like permitting process and stuff. And then he destroyed his rocket and blew up the launch pad because it turns out if you try to put 17 million pounds of thrust into a flat concrete tarmac, that flat concrete tarmac gets obliterated and launches rocks into your engines at the speed of sound. I don't know. Like I do think you got to stand on the shoulders of giants to really make that progress. And yeah, the other one I like is it is easy to pretend to be serious. It is impossible to pretend to be witty. And you'll meet people who are super serious all the time. And it's because they don't have the brain space or the ability to crack a joke. And those folks, you just can't trust them. You can't trust somebody who can't crack a joke. To me, the inability to find humor in a situation or to make levity in a situation is, I would say, detrimental to one's psyche and one's ability to process terrible news. Like, if you can't find a release valve when faced with just horrible news or the deluge of day in, day out bad news that our society produces every day, it's going to eat you alive. And so having that steam valve of being able to laugh at something, no matter how bleak, dark, detrimental it may be, is a sign of a healthy mind. So if you can't make jokes about stuff because you just aren't funny, well, I'm probably not going to hang out with you. I also firmly believe that, like, friends are the family you choose. And if your friends make you miserable, they aren't your friends. And life's too short to, like, spend time with them. You know? Like, someone sucks. It's not your job to change them into not sucking. And it's going to take all the effort in the world to ensure that they aren't just dragging you down, and they're going to end up dragging you down with them anyway. I may have told this story before, but years ago I was dating a girl, and we went to my best friend's house for a party in the summer. And they just like, we're having a tomato party, and it was because it was a great summer, hot, dry, sunny, and everyone's tomato plants had blown up, so they're going to like have a trading heirloom tomatoes party. So I went to the house, and there were some really cool people there. My friend was the head brewer of a brewery. There's a bunch of like brewers there. There was like, you know, one of the TV personalities from a local news channel was there. There was a pro skier there. There were some pretty cool people at this house. And I just gave her a tour of my friend's house and showed him the furniture he made. In his garage, he had a welding system so he'd make his own bicycles. He'd make his own skis and a ski press. He had boats and kayaks and surfboards and stuff he had built all over the place. And she's meeting all these people that just do cool shit. And she wasn't saying a word. She was just kind of like quiet the entire time. And people were trying to converse with her, and she just gave like one-word answers and just kind of like sunk into herself and disappeared. And on the ride back, you know, take the ferry over to Seattle to go see everybody. On the ride back, you know, I did the whole penny for your thoughts thing because she'd just been quiet the entire time. And she said, "Your friends are really nice and they do cool things. My friends aren't very nice at all, and they don't do anything." And so I was like, then why are they your friends? Like, I mean, just because you've known them since you were 5 years old doesn't mean they're truly your friends. They're just sort of people you spend time with because you feel obligated to. But you're not getting anything out of that relationship that intrigues you, that you find curious, that you love about that relationship. It's just sort of like, well, I've known this person my entire life, I'm stuck with them. No, that's family. You're stuck with your family. You can choose your friends, right? And the bummer is that she took that to heart and she quit her job, left her house, and moved to Hawaii, and living a great life there ever since. But yeah, I don't know. There's little lessons you learn in life along the way, and sometimes it's painful to learn that lesson. But if you can learn about how other people learn that lesson, it saves you a lot of time in the process. Yeah. Hey, Kat, you're back. So, be funny, roll the punches, and hang out with cool people. Those are my suggestions. Oh yeah, take that spot, Kat. It's all yours. Get yourself a fat asthmatic cat, right? Oh yeah. Kevin Orayonin. Sure seems like the market just keeps pumping like 2000, 2008, and 2020. Reverse repo under 2 trillion. Something's got to give. The reverse repo is dropping again. I wonder if people haven't used that cash to perhaps make sure their banks don't go under. Adam Aaron should take note. I don't know if it was a direct dig at Adam Aaron, but Ryan Cohen saying you need to invest in your own company is a very important thing. Hutch, Houston. Sorry if this has already been asked of you, but was curious on your thoughts about the UFO whistleblower that came out recently saying we have 12 UFO crafts and have a reverse engineering program. I mean, is it possible aliens have made it here? Why not? Why have 12 of those ships crashed? Not a clue. Right? I mean, you got an alien technology that can spend either fractions of a second streaming across the galaxy through wormholes or folding space, whatever it is they're doing, or they got warp speed technology, which would require the power of like 1,000 suns to do, or they've got the technology that they can live for hundreds or thousands of years as they travel at the speed of light across the galaxy, somehow not being murdered by the galactic cosmic rays that they're running into constantly, and being able to slow down time in a way that they don't die on the trip, or the multiple generations can get there, and then they get to Earth and they crash. Like, it just seems like they thought about everything except the whole landing part. Like, oh, we probably should have 10,000 years ago before we started this journey, we probably should have thought about how to land this sucker. It just seems weird that they can overcome all these obstacles and then never figure out how to land their ships. So that we have 12 wreckages that we're going through, and reverse engineering. If we're reverse engineering their technology, why aren't we seeing any of it? Like, why hasn't any of this tech actually made it into something at this point? You would think somebody somewhere at Boeing or Lockheed Martin or Raytheon or something would be like, okay, I got the contract for this technology. I'm going to take some of this technology and I'm going to put it into my devices so that I can become a trillionaire. Like, why hasn't that happened yet? Why hasn't that happened yet? I don't know. But it seems like every April and May, a new big release about space aliens comes out. It's been that way for the past few years, without the concrete evidence yet. So I'm just, one of these days, by all means, give us that concrete evidence. Excuse me. I'd just like to see it once. Not quantitative video, not a whistleblower. I want something concrete, something tangible, something proof-worthy. Squamps, BlackRock just filed to get some sort of Bitcoin ETF just now. Yes, and they'll be running it through Coinbase. I find it interesting that BlackRock is announcing this now, that Coinbase is under investigation for essentially running a Ponzi scheme through their staking process. Aaron Valentin, Houston, did you get your free stock of AUMN? Told you 3 weeks ago, and the mining company did this reverse split. Got $2 share for 13 cents pre-split. I didn't buy theirs in time for the date of record. I've got the other ones set up and ready to go. Who have I bought? I have. Come here. I got VIX and UVXY. Both of those are going to reverse split. SOS, Troika, Boyle, OPAD, and Local. Local and OPAD may have already done theirs. Looks like OPAD gave me a fraction of a share. So, yeah, looks like I got a fraction of a share. I didn't get the full share from OPAD. So it didn't work necessarily for me there. Lame. Bo got smoked 28. Houston, should Adam Schiff be in prison for lying about the Trump-Russia hoax? No one lied about Trump's involvement with the Russians. So no. Adam Schiff isn't going to prison for that. Remember, there were like 30 plus indictments and people pled guilty. You don't plead guilty if it's a hoax, right? His campaign manager, Paul Manafort, worked for the Kremlin. He literally took paychecks from the Kremlin. He ran the pro-Kremlin campaigns for the Ukrainian president, and he took millions of dollars from the Kremlin to run those campaigns, right? Trump's campaign managers after Manafort were Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway, who were both vice presidents at Cambridge Analytica, who stole all the data from Facebook users and then gave that data to the Kremlin, right? His largest investors in his real estate projects were all Russian mafia. Trump Toronto was Felix Sater. Trump Soho was, what was that dude's name? The one that got busted for trafficking kids in Turkey. I mean, like, these dudes were all Russian mafia that were paying for his campaigns. And Trump Tower, right? The guy that hosted Trump in Moscow when the Miss Universe pageant was in Moscow in 2013, was arrested by the FBI for running an illegal casino out of Trump Tower. So there's plenty of Trump-Russia connections. Trump himself admitted to attempting to bribe Vladimir Putin with the $50 million penthouse if he get the permission to build Trump Moscow. That's a felony. Can't bribe foreign heads of state. Right? That itself is a crime. So no, Adam Schiff is not going to jail over the Trump-Russia thing because it's not a hoax. Trump is directly connected to Russians. He always has been. He was the basis for the financing of like all of their projects for the last 25 years. The most buyers of his condos were Russian mobsters. When he was about to go bankrupt in the mid 2000s because he wasn't able to pay the bonds on Trump Chicago, he managed to sell that giant mansion in where was it? Not Mar-a-Lago. The other one he bought in Palm Beach. He bought it for like $14 million. He sold it for $90 million to a Russian mobster when the market was down. So no, Trump is so tied in with those goons. It's just, it blows my mind when people think that he isn't. And then take the word where there's like, oh, it's a big hoax. See? When a whole bunch of people went to prison for it. And, you know, you got dudes like Papadopoulos, George Papadopoulos, and he's married to a Russian agent. Like, he went to Italy to go meet Russians, and then ended up marrying a woman he met while he was there, who turns out to be a Russian agent. Weird how that works out. And you got dudes along, like all within his organization. You know, you have white supremacists like Stephen Miller, whose best buddy was Richard Spencer, the head of the Nazis in the U.S., who also was married to a Russian agent. And then you have Madison Cawthorn, married to a Russian agent. Then you've got Martina, what was her name? Martina Burina? The one that was Dmitry Firtash's proxy here in the U.S. for the NRA. So they give $80 million from Dmitry Firtash to the NRA. The NRA laundered that money illegally into Republican campaigns. And then Maria Butina would have sex with all the Republicans. And she got arrested for spying on their behalf. It's just, you know, it happens, man. They compromised a whole bunch of people. And they got dirt on them all. Remember, they hacked both the Republican National Committee and the Democratic National Committee, but they only released the Democratic National Committee emails because there was nothing damning in there. They just wanted to show, like, hey, well, we can hack your stuff. But the RNC ones, they didn't release that, right? You had Roger Stone in contact with both Julian Assange and Guccifer 2.0 coordinating the hack of the DNC emails and the release of them. Guccifer was part of the Russian internet service, RIS, which is like the CIA of the internet for the Russians. And Roger Stone was in contact with them, coordinating the release of these documents. So yeah, it was, forgot his casinos. Those casinos are, you know, the only man in the world that could never make money at a casino. Yeah. Okay. Lone Wolf. The SEC would have to rest themselves. That's true. Clean house and then start over. Rosa got an extension to June 22nd. Okay, so I guess we're waiting a week. Week for Rosa. Maybe she filed an extension. Aaron Salentine, looks like shorts are in trouble. I do not trust the drops or short later attacks because it keeps coming back up. I believe we'll see $50 in 3 or 4 weeks. One can hope. Geo, any thoughts on Neobief? Neo boyfriend? I don't know what that is, so I have no thoughts. Neobf? Norcope Developments Limited Stock. I have never heard of this. I hit the wrong thing. I can't even get someone to give me a summary. Like, show me your stupid stock. NeoBF. That is what they show. So, no. They can't get anything out of them to show me anything. Previous close, 82 cents, but then nothing shows up. So, Neo, BF, Bloomberg have anything? Change ticker symbol to NBCN. Okay. Ah. It says now NBCN. So it's a Toronto company. I know nothing. And even then, still won't show me anything. So, no, I have no thoughts whatsoever. None, zero, zip doodle, nothing. Lee Meadows, Houston, hope you're doing well. How's your blackberries going? Still cutting me to shreds. I took out a whole bunch of them yesterday, and I cut down 2 alder trees. That there's 2 more alder trees that I can't cut down. I know they're going to go down eventually. I might have to talk to the city because they are threaded up through the electrical wires. So there's like electrical wires on one side, wires on the other side. The tree goes through them both. And I am not going to be responsible for cutting that down because I will electrocute myself and or knock out everyone's internet, phone, etc. So that's going to be, I'm going to talk to the city about that. Be like, hey, city, por qué? What do I do? And then we're like, hire a professional. I'll be like, nope, I'll wait for it to fall down and then you can deal with it. But man, I got a lot cleared. I'm so close. I've got about 50% of the roadside part of the property done, and it looks real good. But man, so many spiky plants trying to hurt me. Just a ridiculous number. It's bonkers. And it will look amazing when it's all done. Like clearing out under all these beautiful cedar trees and maple trees, and it just looks so beautiful. But I'm going to have to rent a chipper because I've done maybe a third of the property, and I have several thousand cubic feet of bushes that need to be destroyed. It's a lot. Ozzie Smith, the Hall of Fame shortstop. Houston, Hope you are well, sir. Are you getting discouraged with all the roadblocks we have faced at MMTLP? How do we proceed from here? Any potential avenues you see to move forward? Keep being annoying. Keep calling members of Congress. Keep calling the FBI. Keep calling SEC. Don't stop being annoying. Just at some point, it's going to be worth it to them to go, you know what? This $10,000 campaign contribution is not worth the headaches right now. Just make it right so these people stop calling my office. They stop hounding me at town hall meetings. They just leave me alone. So keep bugging them all. That's all we can do. And we've proven that we can keep doing it for 6 months now, which means we can do it for a year, which means we can do it for 10 years if we have to. Just keep bugging the hell out of them, and eventually they're going to give us what we want. Thoughts on No Labs? They get their working prototype going, so I'm assuming they're going to start doing tests with that. They're going to build another 99 or so this year. And that is probably so they can be doing human trials. My guess is that once they dial in the precision of the device, they're going to give them to people who are diabetic, who are going to use the device and then use either test strips or an invasive device to compare and show over time how accurate it is, and they can use that data for their eventual FDA approval. Jason Blackwell, Houston. What's the difference between a car tire and 365 used condoms? One is a good year, the other is a great year. Yeah. I work with a guy who's related to Charles Goodyear. He says that his great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, I can't remember where it is in the line, totally stole vulcanization of rubber from like the local indigenous population and claimed it as his own. Bo got smoked. Ken buys the most expensive homes in the country. I think his company's doing just fine. Yes, but he buys them in Florida. And Florida has an interesting law where if you get sued for, things, that they can't take your home from you. That's why O.J. Simpson sold everything and moved and bought a house in Florida. Because Nicole Brown's family can't take his home from him in Florida. So that's why I think Ken Griffin has everything in Florida and is all tied up in real estate there, because you can't take it from him if it's in real estate, and he can still borrow against it and pay for things. Scott Pollen at New York Stock Exchange today. Wild IPO event. What's the IPO? What's going on with Rivian? I don't know. What is going on with Rivian? It's at $15. I see nothing going on with Rivian. I don't know. Nothing. What's James Webb up to? I believe the L2 Lagrange point. My guess is taking pictures, probably doing more scientifically related pictures than the initial, let's make some pretty pictures to appease everybody who pays taxes. It's probably actually getting down the nitty gritty and doing some serious science now, be my guess. Sincere 206, happy birthday, Houston. So if we keep losing, how are we going to win? Feels like Armageddon is the only way to squeeze our stonks. What good will it be to be rich if the world becomes Mad Max sequel? You can afford to be a warlord. So, you got that going for you. You can get your armored personnel carriers and arsenals and bomb shelters, and that'll be more than what other people have. So you got that. J-Dog, Cava had a good IPO today, $21 to $42. What's Cava? I have no idea. Just so much stuff to try to keep. Cava IPO. Cava's IPO. Cava made debut in the New York Stock Exchange. Mediterranean fast casual restaurant chain. I have never heard of these people. But good for them. I've never eaten at a Cava. Never heard of a Cava. I like Mediterranean food. Chain opens first fast casual in 2011. The 263 restaurants since it acquired Mediterranean fast food chain Zoe's Kitchen for $300 million back in August 2018. Successfully converted 145 Zoe Kitchens into Cava brand. Plans to open 35 to 44 new locations and open another 8 converted Zoe's, the remainder of locations by 2032. That's a lot. Well, wait, 2032, so in 9 years they're going to open 34 more locations? Oh, by 2032 it says it's going to open 1,000 locations. Okay, so maybe I'll start seeing them in places. Okay, maybe they'll show up somewhere and I can try them out. The same way I've never tried out a Chipotle. Used in the Bainbridge Brawler. Leon Noel, Cattail Karaoke has to be a shirt. Kitty, do you want to do Cattail Karaoke? Yeah? Oh, look at that little monster. You guys have never met the other cat in this house. There's my roommate has a cat named Bumper, who's a sweet little orange cat, but she and Monkey Butt do not get along. Like, if Orange Cat had just been like, sup, Monkey would be like, oh, hey. The Orange Cat goes, and Monkey goes, arr, and then they just yell at each other. And so it never comes upstairs. So there's another cat in this house, but you'll never see it because it barely leaves the threshold of the door to my roommate's room. But there is a Maine Coon kitten coming. We will be getting a Maine Coon kitten soon. And I look forward to its adorableness. All right. Corey Jones liking the Braves. Well, I'm just waiting to see how J.R. Ritchie's doing. Haven't checked in a while. J.R. Ritchie. So this is a kid who's a senior in high school out of Bainbridge High School, drafted second round last year, 35th pick overall. Well, 0-1, 4 games started. Minor League Baseball, we got here. 2022, kicking ass. The whip is really good, though. 105 whip. You have no home runs. 8 earned runs, though, in 13 innings. Ouch. 3 walks, 25 strikeouts. That's a hell of a strikeout to walk ratio right there. How did he give up 11 hits, though? That's probably what did it. Striking out a ton. Game started, only pitched 13 innings in 4 games. That's not very many. It seems like they got him to a restricted schedule. Is he... What news is coming out on him? JR, where are you? What's going on? JG strikes out the side in May. JG strikes out 7 back in April. Anything since then? Give us some info, buddy. Okay. Ritchie returned to Augusta, making 4 starts, registering for... Ritchie was placed on the injured list. Oh, undisclosed injury. Okay, so he's got DL. Oh, he's undergoing Tommy John. Oh, shit. Okay, well, J.R. Ritchie's down for the count. That's why I hasn't seen any numbers out of him. Okay, so... That's why he hasn't pitched since May. So May 25th, now Richie will undergo Tommy John to repair a moderate UCL tear in his right elbow. Right there. Okay, so he's going to get a cadaver tendon put into his elbow. And then a year from now, he'll be pitching 2 miles an hour faster than he was with his new, tighter bionic elbow. That's why we haven't seen anything out of Richie. That's a bummer. Well, come on, buddy. Get to the big leagues. Adventures with Hunter. Saudi Arabia has an extradition agreement with the U.S., whereas Russia does not have one. So Russia it is, I guess. Or UAE, maybe. I don't think we have an extradition treaty with UAE. Owen Saunders, hi, pal. If ICANN gets BBBY, do we not get paid? Also, Mark's hearing over MMTLP was embarrassing. Thought he was awful. I'm really losing faith. I didn't get to hear it. I wish I could have. I think one of the biggest problems we have is A, the judge in Florida never allowed a hearing to happen when that was explicitly what Rosa was requesting was, let's have a hearing, let's talk about this. And he never granted one. And the one time we do get a hearing, nobody can explain anything succinctly so that the judge can understand. And I think it's a big problem. It is a complicated issue that takes several minutes to explain. And if you can't do it in a way that gets the other person to understand the situation, then they're going to go, I don't know what's going on, and just rule for the status quo. So we need better, more concise explanations, I think. And Salentine, NLK is short squeezing Houston. I only bought one share at 50 cents. Reverse split play. It's at $1.40 now. Nikola. Oh. Isn't Nikola the other electric car company? Is that the one that got busted faking their electric car driving because they just push it down a hill and record it that way? Interesting. Oh, I guess no reverse split. No. Okay. Ted Tremendous, Houston, happy birthday. Google says I only have half what I should at my age for retirement. Am I destined to troll around in the muck in my tidy whities as the rich spit on me, calling me scum? Yes, we all are. Ted Tremendous, do you think that long-term AI is really the game-changing tech and innovation many think it is? Wise to get some tech plays for this now? I think anyone who has AI in their mission statement is going to get a pile of money. I just read about a French company that didn't have any employees yet raised 205 million euros for their AI company. They didn't have any tech, didn't have any employees. They're like, hey, we're making an AI company, give us money. And everyone's like, okay. I think that's where the dumb money's going. And by dumb money, I mean VCs. VCs always want to go with the hot thing, and the hot thing right now is anything that says AI. So let's start an AI company. And the entire AI company will consist of us going to Bard and saying, hey, Bard, write us a program for an AI. And then that will be our research development right there. And we'll get $300 million for it. And then we'll release, we'll call it Yard or something. And that'll be our AI contribution. And do you think, I just read that one. Aaron Salting, Houston, do not dislike me. I am shorting Moln hard and making some good money. Puts printing. If you can't beat them, join them, but we'll always stay long on GME. I have always thought that Mullen is not going anywhere. Their stock price is now below where it was when they reverse split. So they claim to have some sort of $10 billion agreement with the Saudis, but they got to make something for that to happen. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll prove everybody wrong in the end, but they're bottom tier, man. They can't get chips. And if you can't get chips, you can't make cars. Jimmy D, Houston, I love you. Give me some hopium for all my underwater spy puts. I mean, right now, as we talked about before, the SPY is 27.7% 5 stocks. The other 72.3% are the other 495 stocks. So the SPY is not representative of the market. It's representative of those 5 stocks. And that's pretty much it. So the rest of those suckers can go down. But as long as those 5 hold steady or go up, then the SPY is good to go. It's manipulation. It's totally manipulating the outcome of the value of the SPY. And I don't know. To me personally, I think if you're going to have an index fund gauge the health of the market and have 500 stocks in the index fund, each stock should be 1/500th of that index fund or something. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy that the SPY is running like it is with nothing but bad news. There's no good news anywhere in the market, but the SPY is like, oh, good for me. I don't know. I don't know, Jimmy. Don't know. So Civ 54. MMTLP ignored. BBYQ is being fought through attrition. How is Jimmy different? Why can't they just ignore it and not pay out? I understand foreign investment is in it too, but law doesn't seem for us. I think the problem is the GME is cash positive. That they have money and they're sitting on money and they don't have debt. And so having money and no debt makes it really, really hard to short a company out of existence because they can just go, oh, I'll do a stock buyback tomorrow and jack their own price up and still have money left over. So I think that's why they haven't been able to hurt it like they have the others, that the others still have debt. And I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond's debt is their own doing because they did a $1.5 billion stock buyback and are now $1.5 billion in debt. Oops. So it's yeah. Oh, excuse me. And then AMC, rather than doing at the market offerings to retail investors, kept selling to short hedge funds and screwing everybody over. So that's their own doing also, is that they're not doing it right. You sell at the market to your investors. Slowly. Don't dump it all at once. You just piece it out here and there until you raise the capital you need. And then you quietly announce, hey, we're all done. And then your stock price goes again. And AMC just can't figure that out. Michael O'Hara, I think RC is trying to create a company that rivals Amazon. I think so as well. I think they want to have their finger in every pie across the internet. Julianne, well, that sounds exactly like 2008 led up to. Is that referring to the Canadian market? Yeah. Michael Harrow, Houston Gardner tweeted that he had Twitter imposter. Is it you? No, I'm the one who let him know that he had Twitter imposter because someone else let me know that he had Twitter imposter. It's funny is like when those imposters create their accounts, what they do is they block the original person. So like there's been several Houston Wades that have popped up and they make their page exactly like mine. They retweet some of my tweets, like redo them and send them out. And then they block me so that I can't see them, but they'll respond under my posts to get people to like join my Telegram channel and I'll give you all the stock tips or whatever. It's silly. I'm not going to have a Telegram channel. Telegram is controlled by the Russians. And so you won't find me on Telegram. No, I'm not going to do a Discord. Discord's annoying. So whenever you see those, it's not going to be me. I'll be here. Squamps, I love you and tell us why it rains. Nico Daru, my grandfather was a dyslexic baker in World War II. He went all buns a glazing. Kitty, whip out some of your sharp weapons and kill me. Just kill me. Save me from this. Peace Tech, what do you think about the El Nino this year? Do you think we'll go back to any kind of normal cycle after this cycle? I don't think normal cycles can be a thing anymore. The Atlantic itself, like forget the El Nino in the Pacific. The Atlantic is way too warm. There's so much energy in the Atlantic right now. It is just bonkers how warm the oceans are. We can see if we can find an ocean temp map. Ocean temperature surface map. Sea surface temperature. Here we go. Contours chart. So this one's not showing me. I want to see temps above average. That's not the one I want. I want this one. Those guys there. Here we go. All right. Current average sea temperature from all 7,000 locations, 200 countries around the world. The entire Atlantic is very warm. So we're looking at along the equator, temperatures are 95 degrees in the water. That is freakishly hot. 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95. But there's a good one on Twitter that showed the temperatures above average, and that there were record temperatures being recorded all over the place. Headed off the charts. That's from April. Sea surface temperature above. Let's do above mean. That's U.S. intercoastal waterways. What's it say for us right now? That's not. It's gonna load. Here we go. There's a JS map. It's laying down. Okay, 92 degrees off Florida. Warm. Remember, it hit 125 in Puerto Rico last week. So that's about average for Hawaii. 70, 78, 79 on that side of the island. That makes sense. 70s up through New Jersey. We got Canada. They have no stations. It's only for the U.S., huh? Not applicable. 82. It's only for the U.S. Well, heck. Well, I think getting away from just looking at maps and me being silent while staring at them, I think so much heat is being trapped in the oceans right now that it's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to release a whole bunch of water vapor in the atmosphere, make for some really gnarly storms and really, 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 really powerful high pressure systems as the warmer has to descend somewhere. And I think we're going to just continue our cycle of long droughts and then devastating rains. Long droughts, devastating rains as a result of all that. That's just a lot of heat in the ocean, and we just, yeah, the way the ocean cycles. Let's go to Google Earth. We talked a little bit about this, but if you look at the Pacific Ocean, so let's get the whole Pacific in here. This big old fat boy. All right. So down here along the equator, the sun beats down and that water gets really warm. And warm water has to go somewhere. And so what it does in the northern Pacific is it runs up the coast of Asia and it cools off. And then it goes along the Gulf of Alaska and then runs down the coast of the western United States and warms up again and then gets to Mexico, it gets nice and hot, and then runs runs west back to Asia again and does that cycle. The opposite happens where it gets warm out here, runs along Antarctica, and then the Humboldt Current takes it up the coast of South America where it gets warm again and then runs back west. So the Humboldt Current is generally cold. But when you have El Nino, you have this cold water running up, gets replaced by really warm water on the sea surface. And that warm water on the sea surface comes off of Peru. And the general idea is that the warm water bubbles up at the surface and remains there because there should be trade winds that come from the Caribbean over Central America and blows away this water along the equator. And when it blows the warm water away off the surface, cold water bubbles up. So generally, you should have cooler water right here off the equator due to all this trade wind that blows from the Caribbean over the Central American states. And when this wind shuts down, the wind doesn't blow away this water, so the warm water sits and stays, and it grows larger and larger and larger. So that's pretty much the thought behind why we get El Niños, is because those trade winds shut off. And those trade winds might shut off due to sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic, right? They could get too warm one spot and change the winds entirely. So it's very weird. And the El Niños are getting warmer and worse when they do happen. And I think that those are hurting us in the long run, to say it plainly. So I don't know if we'll get normal cycles ever again. We might be at a point of no return. Jesse, it was Harry Markopoulos that reported Madoff's scheme 4 to 5 times the SEC for fraud. Yeah, that's the dude. Sorry, I can't remember his name. Mojo, any thoughts on Acme and George going to Japan? You got to go places to make sales. And hopefully I'm making sales. Scott Lumley, Houston, just want to say happy birthday. You rock, and I bet you make a very entertaining teacher. Well, thank you, Scott. I hope so, too. For the most part, my teacher reviews have always been fairly pleasant. Every once in a while, I get a little person who's like, meh, he failed me. It's like, well, you didn't do your job. Dave Brooks, are we ever going to win a lawsuit against FINRA? It seems that the rich always win and we are screwed. Very disheartened. Even with the facts on our side, we can't seem to get to break through. Yeah, that seems to be the nature of the game, man. We gotta figure out how to get rich so that we can be the ones preserving our status quo. Honey, I fucked up at work. Honey, I fucked up at work. Hi, Houston. Hello, honey. I fucked up at work. Honey, I fucked up at work. Any time frame on AMC's ups, Houston? Not until they get a good ruling out of that court, probably. Even Antera's gone bearish. They, on top of all their shorts position that they have, they bought a bunch of puts. So, Scott Pollen, Central Park Geology, big whalebacks. Big whalebacks? Central Park's got some great exposed granite. I would love, actually, to go back to Central Park and carve up some of the quartz veins in Central Park. Let's go to Central Park here. Central Park. So there's exposed granite all over the place, Central Park. And they have a lot more baseball fields than I remember. So let's see if we can see some. There's some exposed granite right there. See those rocks? Look, you can see from space. So we've got some exposed bedrock. These might even be bits of quartz. Oh, no, don't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. So this is granite gneiss. This rock here. See how swirly it is? See, it's got like little swirls in it. This is granite that got baked and then it metamorphized and like, you get when you have a piece of granite, you get like little chunks of rocks, that little chunks of crystals all over the place. When you cook it and it gets squeezed, they all kind of like swirl in one direction. And so they've all kind of been pushed and swirled into a direction. And there'd be quartz veins in this stuff. And I saw quite a bit of quartz veining. This one doesn't. Oh, here's some quartz. There's some quartz right there. I would love to take a little rock grinder. There's some right there. There's some quartz. Break some of that stuff off and just grind it up a little bit and see what minerals I can pan out of it, just to see, like, is there anything in the bedrock of Manhattan that is, it doesn't have to be economical. I just want to know if there's, maybe there's some gold flakes in there. Maybe there's a little bit of silver. I don't know. But, so Central Park's got quite a bit of exposed bedrock. And as somebody who grew up in an area where all of our rocks are just alluvial fill and glacial till, we don't have very much bedrock. So I always get excited when I see bedrock, just because I know everywhere else around the world they've got bedrock, but we don't. We have to get in the mountains to see bedrock. Nothing near my house that's bedrock. So I always just like seeing bedrock exposed. But yeah, this is your Central Park geology right here. This is really, really, really old continental rock that was buried a very long time ago under mountains and has since eroded away and been exposed. How old is Central Park rocks? $500 million years old. So Manhattan schist. It's 500 million years old. Contains other minerals including quartz, mica, and feldspar. So 500 years old. It's very old. It got buried a long time ago when New York and the Atlas Mountains were smashed together. So we can go back to the old Google Earth. Exit Street View. Zoom out. Okay. And if we look at... I keep zooming or flying. So you see the Appalachian Mountains here? The little swirlies Appalachian Mountains. And we go across to Africa. And we look at these mountains here. The Atlas Mountains. And their little swirlies. These two mountain ranges were once touching. That used to touch that. And smash. They made a giant mountain range that was bigger than the Himalayas. Like 35,000 feet tall. And then the spreading ridge came in there and started conveyor belting them away. And so they spread apart from each other very fast, over 350 million years, and now you've got this big chasm of an ocean between them. And their mountains eroded away and created these long, flat areas that have made up the eastern seaboard. Lots of bays and rivers to carry all the old mountain range back into the ocean. They made for these gigantic continental shelves as a result. So there you go. Just Stewart think they fixed the glitch, just got fractional shares as well. Nuts. Aaron made us all aware of the thing, which probably made Robinhood aware of the thing, and then now we're all just getting fractional shares and stuff. Grape Knowles, what's your favorite genre of humor? Also, how would you define humor? Can you be philosophical about it? Thanks for your last answer. Happy birthday, by the way. What's my favorite genre of humor? I mean, I like slapstick. I like gross out humor. I like dark humor. I like sarcasm, dry wit. The humor that I don't like is like predictable Larry the Cable Guy type humor. It just plays to a lowest common denominator. And it's usually like, I don't like humor that's specifically there to punch down, like in bully people who are already like marginalized. It doesn't really click for me. I like silly. I like silly in general. I like, I like kind of dark humor, your esoteric, weird, avant-garde humor. I like a lot of humor, man. Just, who doesn't like humor? I don't know if I can be philosophical about it. I haven't really dove that deep. But I will say humor is pain. Like, dude slips on a banana peel and eats it. That's hilarious. Dude got hurt. Like, should we be laughing about a guy getting hurt? He slipped on a banana peel? No. Is it funny? Yes. Yes, it is very funny. So, being able to look back, like the best stories you will tell your friends is when something horrible happened to you. There it was, getting shot in the face. Man, was that a crazy time? People were laughing their ass off. So, like, when pain is involved, that's humor. Humor is a way of us coping with the absurdity of life. Because living is absurd. We are beings put on this planet basically to suffer, and our coping mechanism is to joke about it. Well, life sucks. Haha. There we go again. Well, that's what we do, and that's life, man. I guess that's as philosophical as I can get on that. There's a great part in Stranger in a Strange Land where the Martian, whatever his name is trying to understand humor, and he just doesn't. And then he realizes there was like a monkey that bonked another monkey on top of the head, and he found it hilarious because he's like, oh, humor makes sense now. It's pain. that's kind of, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Lil Law. Houston, hear about the family of aliens in their backyard? Yes, and we still want to know why they never took any cell phone videos of them. Jay was a Burisma executive found dead today. I saw a newspaper report that said something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. Aaron Salentine. It does work. I noticed like 80% of the time. I noticed that if you do a 10-for-1 or a 1-to-1 reverse, they will give you the fractional share. Matt Newton, will you leave the country when Trump is reelected like you left Twitter when Elon bought it? I never said I was going to leave Twitter. I said Twitter was going to die eventually and we'd all be out of there. They aren't paying their bills and they're losing 89% of their former revenue on advertising. I don't know how much longer they have. Their value now is down to $6 billion according to Fidelity. So Elon's lost his investors $38 billion since this whole thing began. In 6 months. Whew. That is a doozy. Cruz Dooley. Houston, happy birthday. Just wanted to say hi from Scotland. I'm usually driving my truck while listening to you, but tonight I'm listening live. Love your shirt. Well, thank Michael Mystery for this shirt. It is a good one. It's nice thick cotton. It feels, texture is really nice. Guitar Stuff. Hey, Houston. Happy birthday. I've never owned MMTLP. I hope you guys keep the faith and keep fighting. Yeah, just got to keep being annoying. Just be annoying. Annoy everybody. That's all you can ask for. BW Brand, normally you contact the utility that uses the pole for tree remediation. If they buck you off, then kill the tree with poison and they'll remove it as preventive maintenance. Well, they're alder trees and alder trees just love to go down. They have their absolute most favorite thing in the entire world is to like get to 6 years old and be like, oh, I'm old, I'm gonna die now. And they're like a Great Dane, they're done. So, not even my fault. The other one's threaded through the wires and I haven't done anything about it. Let's talk about the reverse split thingy. Avocados. Hey, y'all. Dang, looks like close to the end. Notifications will watch later. Hi, Chalupa Monkey. Hi, Chalupa. Hey, look at you. You're like a little fat football of a cat. Yes, you are. Oh, yeah. Okay. And cool shirt. Thank you. Lee Meadows, I've raised 70 pounds so far from my mobility scooter and back surgery. Long way to go, but appreciate the support. Thank you for all that retweeted my post and the people that donated. Oh, yeah. Let me see here if I can get... so Lee got hit by a car on his bicycle, and his spine's all messed up. And he's trying to get a mobility scooter. Let's see here. I gotta scroll to get to it. Gotta find the link. Where's the link? Where's the link? Sorry, Lee. We'll get there a sec. It'll take me just a moment. I'll find it. I'll find it. I swear I'll find it. Where'd it go? Why am I not? Okay, I can't find it. Maybe I'll just go to Reddit. That'll work. One sec. Un momento, por favor. Chats? Oh, hi, buddy. How are you? There it is. Okay. You got the link. So Lee Meadows is trying to raise money for his Google Earth to raise money for a mobility scooter that he needs to get around. So if you care to donate, help Lee out and help him get that mobility scooter. Donation right here for him. Help brother out, right? That's what we try to do. Charity Tuesdays in this week. Charity Tuesday is 2 weeks from now. That has nothing to do with this, but I'm gonna do a Think of Charity this month for a lot of kids on the free lunch program. When school's over, they have no more food, so they go like 2.5, 3 months without food, or consistent food. And so there's some charities out there that try to get kids fed while school's not in session. And so I'm gonna pick one of those, and that's what we're gonna do in a couple weeks. But today, help out our buddy Lee. And links right there in the chat. So by all means, head over to the PayPal charity page and help him out. Help him get that mobility scooter so he can move around. Honey, I fucked up at work. Honey, I fucked up at work. You're very intelligent, and I wonder why you don't understand the gospel of Christ, big brother. The body dies, but the spirit is everlasting. Good or evil, no in between. P.S. You rock. I'm not particularly religious. The way I see it is, if we had a soul, if there was like, a metaphysical soul inside of our bodies, we wouldn't need our cabezas. If everything that we are is in this mythical, ethereal soul that can just transfer out of us and go elsewhere, then we wouldn't have such painful births dedicated to getting our giant heads out of a woman's pelvis. Most animals, when they give birth to a creature, like most mammals, they give birth to a creature, they're walking within minutes, right? They're navigating around, their eyes work, they're doing amazing things with that few moments on Earth that they have. And we, as human beings, are largely useless for several years because our heads are so big that we have got to come out of our mothers before we can handle our motor skills and stuff like that. We can't really feed ourselves. We can't graze. We can't do anything for a long time. We're pretty useless because there's a lot involved, a lot of energy goes into our heads. And if there was a everlasting soul, then why would we devote so much energy and time to developing such large brains? So for me, that, and I guess I do ascribe the philosophy of do what you can while you're here, don't count on there being an afterlife. And that might be like the Jewish side of me that says that. But it's a... You know, if everything you experience on Earth, like when you talk about, you know, our humor comes from the fact that we're here on Earth suffering. Like, why don't we strive to make life on Earth better? And instead of counting on, after our time here, life finally being better somewhere. That just seems like a cop-out. Like, it seems like, oh, we should suffer for the sake of suffering because in the end we're going to get our 72 virgins. I just think that's a cop-out, and that we should probably try to make our life here on Earth better, right? Like, make life for yourself and others on Earth better, and don't rely upon some afterlife where finally you're going to get the kindness and generosity and peace that you deserve. We should just make life better here. Steve, what are the chances that FINRA shared the Blue Sheets info with the SEC and a Freedom of Information Act could get them from the SEC? Why not try? I know people have been trying to get more communications between the SEC and FINRA regarding MMTLP, and they got denied due to an ongoing criminal investigation. So, but then again, like, the SEC doesn't have law enforcement powers. So if they're saying they're doing a criminal investigation, they aren't, because everything the SEC does is civil, right? So who's that lady that got rejected last week for SEC Freedom of Information Act request? If they're saying that it's the subject of a criminal investigation, it can't be unless the FBI is doing it. So, seems wrong to me. Seems wrong. ABC, BBBY, final date for bidders is tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should know who bidders are tomorrow. Hopefully before close, because my options canceled or expire tomorrow. So, ABC Mercedes-Benz going to integrate ChatGPT inside cars. Oh no. I don't want my car to talk to me. I just want to get in my car, turn on the radio, drive to work, drive home. I don't need my car to do everything for me, man. Just keep it simple and cheap, and I don't know. I have a feeling that ChatGPT is just going to make crap up and ruin stuff. Did you guys read the Twitter thread from the other day that I was involved in? So this dude posted this thing talking about how Albert Einstein, loved alchemy. Like he posted this thing and talked about all these letters that he wrote to friends of his about how much he admired alchemists, all his understanding of alchemy, alchemy this, alchemy that, alchemy this. And I responded to him like, yeah, these letters don't exist. This is made up. Albert Einstein never wrote a single letter referring to alchemy to anyone ever. I know because I have a book that is all of Albert Einstein's letters. And he's like, you know what you're talking about. Albert Einstein was big into alchemy. He loved alchemy. And I was like, no, he is not. Here's a link to his entire collected works of papers and letters at Princeton. You can search for alchemy, alchemist, alchemism, whatever. And there's nothing. No results whatsoever. Well, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I'm like, you can take the quotes that you have in your little screen capture there. You can put them into Google, and nothing will come up. You can put all people's names in there, no record of letters between him and those people, etc. I was like, did you ask ChatGPT to spit this out for you? And the guy's like, well, yeah, this is all from ChatGPT. I'm like, ChatGPT makes things up. So if you tell ChatGPT, like, hey, ChatGPT, can you tell me about all the times Albert Einstein wrote about alchemy? They will spit out all you want, whatever will suit your needs about alchemy and Albert Einstein. They'll just make it up as they go along. Why? Because ChatGPT is there as a language generator. They're going to put words together like a predictive text, and it will fit whatever it is you need. You can't trust it as a source. You know, you might be able to use it to explain a source to you, but if you use it to like, hey, ChatGPT, give me a link to these sources, it'll provide fake links. It'll provide fake sources, fake citations, fake people, fake papers, fake works. They will do it constantly. So that's one of the problems. So like now we're going to be in a car and you'll be like, hey, ChatGPT, can you tell me where the nearest gas station is? And they'll just make up a location. And you'll be like driving to a spot that doesn't exist and run out of gas. I don't know. I don't know how Mercedes is going to incorporate it, but I do know hilarity is going to ensue. Anthony Frontera. Houston, can you give any reason, good or bad, or why Apple is at all-time high? Because they did like $100 billion in stock buybacks. So that's why. They've reduced the number of shares in the float by a lot. That way they can keep their earnings per share at the same level it's always been, even though the revenue is down and profit is down. So, yeah, they've reduced the float a lot. They've just been doing a lot of stock buybacks. Lee Meadows, maybe I should put AI in my fundraiser. Yeah. No Revolution, someone said gas is $6 in Florida. Wow. A lot of things in Florida are getting really expensive at the moment because truck drivers, especially Latin truck drivers, are refusing to deliver things to Florida. It's because of the bill that DeSantis signed, basically forcing everyone to show papers. So a lot of the food workers and construction workers have pieced out and left the state. And a lot of the truck drivers are refusing to deliver stuff. So I think there's a supply chain issue coming to Florida as a result. And so that, yeah, gas prices are going through the roof. And they already were affected by things like the floods in Fort Lauderdale and hurricanes. And there's a lot of infrastructure damage going on. Honey affected Borg. Houston, whatever happened to your stalker? He got booted from Twitter a bunch of times, and his accounts kept getting deleted, so he hasn't been able to stalk me the way he was before. So I don't know. Hopefully, he's given up and found a new victim. I don't wish that on somebody, but it's been 6 months of like, he went after Elon really hard and was basically doing a stalker thing to me, but to Elon. And I think somebody was like, So, yeah. Aaron Salentine, we as a species are destroying this planet and turning into Venus, sadly, Houston. Yes. Yes, we are. And we're going to boil off the oceans and make our atmosphere all CO2 and cook ourselves to death with sulfuric acid. Georgia Heard? I saw an article about dead fish on Texas shore due to ocean temps. Yeah, that was a lot of dead fish. Apparently they all got cooked to death and they just washed up on shore, like bajillions of them. Julius Miami says, nope, gas is $3.59. So gas is cheaper there than it is here. But we've got huge taxes on our gasoline in Washington. Anthony, tomorrow, last bid day, Cohen tweet, China is a sleeping giant. Wow, who? Icahn. China, Icahn. China is an anagram of Icahn, so Icahn is a sleepy giant. Anthony, China equals Icahn. He is the buyer for ABBBY. It's all planned. Icahn, Dream, BBBY, Moas, Icahn, and Cohen, two Jewish mastermind CEOs. Do you think Icahn RC will buy BBBY? Yes. And when do you think we would hear an announcement? Well, all bids have to come in tomorrow by noon, according to the doohickey, and then there'll be an auction next week for the stock, or for the assets, and not the stock, for the assets. So then it'll become to a highest bidder, and then it goes. Then there's like 2 days, I think, for debtors to say, no, I don't agree to this. But if 6th Street holds the debt and Icahn is the owner of the 6th Street debt, then Icahn's not going to say no. He's going to say, I totally agree with me buying all this. And that's how you do it. Someone just cooked something really garlicky. It's wafting through the house. Lee Meadows, thank you. Really appreciate the exposure. Love to get out of the house a bit. It'd be fantastic. All right. AJ, what's up, Houston? What do you think is up with Castor Maritime? Google says company is valued at $160. It's currently 44 cents. I don't know anything about Castor Maritime. Let's see here. Castor Maritime. Castor Maritime, growth-oriented global shipping company. Castor Maritime stock. Seen. Okay. 43 cents. Looks like it drops down to 43, jumps up to 44, drops down to 43, jumps up to 44, drops down to 43, jumps up to 44, and does that quite a bit. I know nothing about them. Market value is only $40 million. Got 94 million shares. Only 1.52 million short interest on them. That's not very big. Given the investment horizon of 90 days and above average risk tolerance, our recommendation, Castor Maritime, is strong sell. Watch Castor Maritime stocks. As expected, our examination of Castor Maritime revealed its 3-year earnings trends are contributing to its low profit earnings. Given that they look worse than current market expectations, at this stage, investors feel potential for improvement in earnings isn't great to justify a higher profit earnings ratio. Is Castor Maritime undervalued? DCF valuation was created by Alpha Spread and was last updated June 9th, 2023. Estimated DCF value of one Castor Maritime stock is $144.02 compared to the current market price of $45. Stock's undervalued by 100%. So CTRM DCF value is $145 a share. What is DCF valuation? Discounted cash flow valuation is a method of estimating the current value of a company based on projected future cash flows adjusted for the time value of money. DCF valuation is one of 2 methods of placing monetary value on a company. The other is relative valuation method. We use a combination of these 2 methods to calculate intrinsic value of a stock as accurately as possible. So I don't know. How do they figure this out? Okay, revenue. $524 million. Projected to be $961 by year 2, $1.6 by year 3. So this is calculating that by year 5, it's going to be a $3 billion year company. Net operating profit, but it's going to be losing money each one of these years. And yeah. So I don't know. I know nothing about these guys or what they do. What do you do? What are you? What are you, Castor Maritime? It's magic at shipping. It's Castor. They have a very slow website. Either that, I've got a very slow internet. Probably have a slow internet. Well, I'm getting the error that I have a slow internet. So yes, it's me. Honest, ethical business conduct throughout our operations. It's magic. It's shipping. It's Castor. Growth-oriented global shipping company engaged in the seaborne transportation of a wide range of commodities along worldwide shipping routes through our ownership of dry bulk and container ship vessels. So, they've got ships coming in. Okay, they got a whole bunch of ships delivered. Ship. Look at ship shape. They have a lot of ships. So most recently in January 2022, they took a ship. So they haven't gotten new ships since January 2022. Net income $110.8 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2023. Spinoff of a tanker business completed March 7th. So they're selling some of their ships, and they're spinning off part of their company. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. Ryan Wynn, what's your price target for BBBY if we get FOMO squeeze? Man, anything above $4 or $5 for me is gravy. Some guys like PP Show, they're talking about if Icahn gets involved and the stock remains viable, that the thing will squeeze to 3 figures. I have no idea. When I was looking at this whole thing, I was figuring someone would make a bid. The bid would be in the billions, and it'd probably be a buyout offer for the company to go private. So anything above that 1.4 billion would be cash for the shareholders. But now with Icahn owning essentially all the debt, he can make a weird bid and the stock can still stay viable. So then they come out of bankruptcy and the stock still exists and you still own part of the company. That can be weird. So I honestly, I don't know. Squeeze, man. I would love for it to squeeze. I'd love for it to squeeze to $1 gajillion tomorrow afternoon before my options expire. But man, I'm okay with it squeezing. I'm also okay with it being a buyout and I get, some crumbs. Travis Martin, I know you think crypto is a scam, but have you ever looked into the Avalanche network? I truly think there is a use case for the blockchain network. I have not looked into the Avalanche network. There are ways that blockchain can be useful, but blockchain is goal of scammers and criminals and fraudsters until it gets regulated. That's just the way it is. If you have an unregulated system, that means crime pays. And all you do is you set up your company in non-extradition countries and you commit your crimes. And then they can't get you for it. The problem is that if you were in this country doing the crimes, then they can get you for it. So it's the Wild West, man. We don't have sufficient laws governing this stuff. Oh. Basically what they're getting people on is essentially theft. Is that you're stealing the staked money, you're passing it through your own hedge fund, you're borrowing against it and just taking money from people. And it's just sort of like creating like mortgage fraud. So that's kind of how they're busting them right now. Yes. Anxiety Lord just donated 20 pounds. Thank you, Anxiety Lord. Awesome. Good job. Thank you. Castor Maritime, beware of Greek shipping companies. That is financial advice. Reverse split offerings are abundant. Noted. I think a lot of Greek shipping companies are fronts to other sketchy businesses. I mean, you get some of them, like the Shrivers made $1 gajillion off of their shipping magnet stuff. But, Oh, I'm going digital again. Dang it. But you know what? It's time for me to go anyway. So I'm going digital. I'm pixelated and I've got to go. I want to thank everybody for joining me. We'll be doing a show tomorrow. I have no idea if it'll be daytime, evening, whatever. At some point. If the weather's good, I might be chopping blackberries during the day. So then it might be an evening show. Have a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow in a different shirt. Right? Right. Okay. Gotta click this and say bye-bye. Bye-bye.